Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm Sam Adavi coming to you this week from historic Cheyenne, Wyoming at the 3rd annual Cars, Cigars, and Guitars Car Show. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
Cars, Cigars, and Guitars Under the Stars is an annual charity car show created by Tim Joannidis and presented by his Ahepa Cowboy Chapter 211. Cheyenne, Wyoming has a very rich history, and the people that live there today carry on the traditions that were born there so long ago. What a beautiful 34, Bill. And you did it right because you got one that's got a Mopar engine in it and not a Chevy or a Ford.
Everybody puts a small block Chevy or Ford in these Plymouths.
I know, right?
This is a 34 Plymouth Coupe, deluxe model, a little bit longer wheelbase. And I fell in love with it when I found it, and then I went to Seattle and bought it.
Wow.
It was built in the 80s by a guy that's no longer with us, and it was painted then in about 20 years ago. Not only with the 340 engine, it's got an Edelbrock fuel injection system instead of a carburetor. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
But it's got a Dodge-style fender system. Dodge had these special scallops. That was kind of neat. It was a fiberglass lower section on steel body. I bought this thing. I've had it about 2 years. The Flying Lady.
Yep.
Plymouth was the Mayflower. It's a big old round thing, but this is special. Having the suicide doors that open, I just love it.
The rag top, the vented windshield. This thing looks really nice.
It's a lot of fun.
The louvers on the side and the fence.
But when you look at all these cars here, it's just one of many gorgeous cars.
There's a lot of gorgeous cars.
A lot of diversity here tonight.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Now you're part of the team with Nick that's giving away the raffling. Tell us about that.
Cheyenne Motorsports.
Right.
He's raffling off a C4 600. It's an ATV. It's a two-seater. It's amazing. With a couple of kids' bikes, a kid motorcycle, and a kid ATV. It's all going to help Wyoming nonprofits.
Right.
One I know is Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
One of them.
I'm back here in Cheyenne, Wyoming with Mayor Collins at the 3rd annual Cars, Cigars, Guitars Under the Stars Car Show.
What a great group of guys.
Yeah.
And the mission, you know, to raise money.
Car guys giving back to the community.
Yep,
That's
exactly,
what it's about.
exactly.
Now tell me about this beautiful Capitol building behind me.
You know, it's our state capitol, and I think the biggest thing about this capitol is the building where the first government in the world gave women the right to vote.
In the world.
That's what I'm told.
That's
the first government in the world to give women the right to vote. So
man, that is so awesome.
yeah, I love this road because you look at that end and you have our historic depot, and then look at this end, you know, bookends with the Capitol. Just it's an amazing
and I heard
place.
they come over here, they would come up to the Capitol to do their thing, and back with their horses, drawn carriages and everything. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah,
man.
the trains would come in and it would bring them here, and then they would come on up. Yeah.
Another great car show. It's doubled in size. This year we're at the Frontier Days venue, which is huge. So we're going to raise even more for charity from this event. And I thank you so much for letting us have it here in Cheyenne and being a part of it.
Well, thank you for coming again and sharing our story in our beautiful city.
We have to go to a quick break. We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show. It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford. Kevin, this is so cool that you were able to make something fit the old school small block Chevy valve covers like this one right over an LS.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, we're working on all kinds of applications. I'm going to get to your Cadillac soon so we can make that thing look good, right?
Absolutely.
No, not only did we do an adapter, it's a valve cover. We're going back to the O-ring gaskets that the factory uses. We're putting stanchions in there, so everything performs like you expect. But we wanted to address another issue, which is the oil in your air that comes back into your intake. Notorious for that on the LSs. We've come up with an oil separation system for vacuum and for breathing. So if you want to run the PCV, you can. If you want to run the breather, which I recommend highly through our testing. I mean, we did it on this truck right here, and then we have the solution for the oiling issue.
Man, this is absolutely cool. And you give them the stanchions so that they don't make it too tight. You got an O-ring piece seal on top.
You know, oil's going to come out
Think
everywhere.
of everything here at Lokar, you know? Welcome back to more of the Lokar Car Show, brought to you by Appalachian Backroads. Rich, what a beautiful fiber. I love the two-tone. And you said the wife drives this, huh?
She does, it's her car.
That is way cool.
Well, we've owned the car since 2017. It's been totally rebuilt. It's about 500 miles on the rebuild. 1969 Firebird. It's originally a 400 car. It has a 455 in it currently. Automatic. Car's been totally powder coated for the whole frame, everything underneath, and all on the engine well. So the engine's been refreshed in 2020. The frame and everything's been powder coated. Everything in the engine well's been powder coated. It has a Pro Touring suspension.
You even did the interior yourself.
I did.
Now, would you do another one?
No, I will not do another interior. I figured I needed something to do.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
What about the rear end? Has it been modified?
Nope, the rear end is still a 10 bolt.
And you and your wife has a passion together, right?
We
you
do.
do this together. That's your truck right there. You built that yourself also
Correct.
in 2.5 years.
Correct. You know, ever since 2020, we started getting into the cars. My wife bought me the first car, and ever since then, it's just been a tumbling effect. We have 6 cars now, and we're looking to add another one. And I have a wife that likes to go fast.
That is awesome. Right? Because she's driving this one, you're driving the truck. This is a very cool race car, Mike. It looks old school, but you said you actually built it in 2013.
I didn't build it. A gentleman by the name of Don Hazelton out of Grand Junction, Colorado built this car, and I was just lucky enough to purchase it.
What's cool, you said it was just on the racetrack, and it's going to go back next weekend on the racetrack.
We race 10, 12 times a year.
This is incredible. I love the raw fabrication of the entire car. Everything is so well built, but just raw. You know, you can see him putting it together in pieces, you know? Now, how much horsepower does it make?
Somewhere between 450 and 500.
450 and 500. And what's the weight on the car?
About 2250 with me in it.
So that's pretty fast.
It's like a go-kart on steroids.
That is crazy. What kind of engine's in it?
It's an actual 302 Boss, and it's been stroked to a Ford 327.
Man, that is beautiful. What kind of a racing does this thing do?
It's all circle track. We run primarily asphalt tracks.
Now, do you do it for fun or do you do it for competition as well?
Both.
So you got a points race you're going after?
Sure, we have a few organizations that we run with for points. Basically, this one's been with a group out of Colorado called the Vintage Oval Racers, and we're just trying to keep the car in one piece because you can't find things like this anymore.
Absolutely, man. So you got to be careful driving,
exactly,
right?
You bet. I've had this car, we're coming up on 2 years now, and I've been racing it ever since.
That's awesome, man. Looks like a lot of fun.
It is
Absolute
a lot of fun.
blast.
Hard car to drive.
I bet. It looks pretty raw. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show, brought to you by Appalachian Backroads.
You worked your whole life and you finally got the car of your dreams. What's the next step? You got to take care of it. And the way to take care of it is with a CF1 Showcase by Car Capsule. There's no better way to protect your vehicle than by using the Showcase. The Showcase provides continuous airflow, continuous air change, means zero condensation. If you have no condensation, you'll have no mold, mildew, rust, or corrosion. The CF1 is a thicker PVC we use with a floor that's almost twice as thick as our original. It comes with the LED light kit and it comes with a battery backup system. So our charger will maintain your battery while it's in storage. During a power failure, we'll switch over and run our fan off of your battery. Then when power reverts, it'll charge your battery back up. We provide the finest in protection, presentation for your vehicle. If you put it away a week, a month, or a year, rest assured you'll take it out in showroom condition with a Showcase by Car Capsule.
Cars, Cigars, Guitars, Under the Stars Car Show, and this is our 3rd annual. And next to me is this beautiful 57 Eldorado Cadillac Baritz. Tell us about the Cadillac, Tim.
It's a 1957. They only made about 400 of these. This car had a window sticker of $7,900 in 1957.
One of 400? I mean, this is not something you see every day, especially one of 400.
Yeah.
Now tell us about the story about why it was purchased.
Now the people that bought it for their daughter for her high school graduation gift. The second owner was a retired auto dealer like myself, and they did a wonderful restoration.
Beautiful.
So he decided to sell it, and I bought it. So
now tell us about this. That's special, the eye.
Isn't that neat?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And what it does is even more neat.
General Motors came out with those. It's called an electronic eye, and it's a light dimmer. It's a headlight dimmer.
Yeah.
So, you know, back in those days, we didn't have interstates. Everybody was driving 100 mile an hour on dark 2-lane roads. They always had the bright lights on.
Yeah.
And we didn't have halogen headlamps, right?
Wow.
So you had your brights on most of the time. So another car came up over the hill, that would spot it, it would dim your lights.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tim. Thanks for the car show. Thanks for everything you do here for the community. Thanks for having us out here. You know, John, seeing this Land Rover, it's not often that you see an awesome, all original looking Land Rover in this state that you can show the people out there, you know?
Yes.
Tell me about this thing. What year is it?
It's a 1995 Defender D90. It's a diesel, 4-cylinder, 5-speed. It's also a right-hand drive. It was imported over from England.
And this thing looks to be all original under the hood as far as the powertrain goes.
Yes.
Even the firewall is the same color as the outside, so it looks like it got the same paint job. And this is so beautiful. Besides the seats on the inside, it's all original. The 4 seats in the back, that's the way they came.
Yes.
You said this is a rare one in America, right?
For the year and the model, it's one of 500 that was imported to the United States.
Garage.
It's a daily driver.
It's a daily driver.
Yes.
You drive it 3 to 5 times a week.
Yes.
Man,
it's a joy to drive.
Now, that front bumper and that winch come with the truck? Like, is that part of the vehicle?
It was the previous owner, aftermarket, to dress it up.
He did such a good job building this Land Rover.
I thank him every day.
And I'm glad he kept the color the way it was factory, and it looks so good. He did an awesome job. Beautiful. Right now, these things are big popular.
Yes.
Absolutely popular. This is so cool. Thank you so much. I'm glad I covered it because, like I said, it's not every day you see one of these at the car show. It's the only one I've seen lately, and I've never seen one in this condition.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, John. Kid, this is really nice. You drove it all the way from Colorado, huh?
Oh, yes, man.
How many bugs you killed?
3.
There you go.
3 bucks.
We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show. I'm with Dominic, and he's the CEO of the tourism board here in Laramie County, and we are in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where there's a lot of stuff going on.
So obviously we celebrate our Western heritage, so we have Cheyenne Frontier Days, the world's largest outdoor rodeo. Happens,
how old is that?
So it's 126 years.
That's impressive, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, amazing. It just brings out a lot of folks out, major concerts at night, pretty fun stuff.
I noticed the festival that was going on, they had a little car show with lowriders and stuff, and they had music going, they had the food trucks, and I saw them again last night. What goes on here?
Friday nights on the plaza. Plaza, which is fantastic, brings in a lot of different music for families to enjoy. It's a free concert. Probably the specific one you saw was in early July. It's Culture X.
Yeah.
That's where they do the paint slingers, where they do all the art, murals, and graffiti art, car show, and concerts, and just a part of Americana. And the greatest part is when Nick created it, it was a way to actually also fundraise for nonprofits here in our community, and it's just been a huge success.
And so is Cars, Cigars, and Guitars under the Stars.
It's at Frontier Park, and it's just so huge and so important for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the charity, the raising money for the people here locally is the most important. And Nick giving away a family of, last year we gave a motorcycle away, but this year's giving away a 4-wheeler for the mom and dad and 2 for the kids. That is a great raffle.
That's pretty amazing.
Very impressive. I'm here with Nick. We got his dad's Morgan here, 34, and I'm gonna have him tell you about it.
This car has been a part of my life for very nearly 40 years. This was my dad's dream car. And he always said one day he was going to have a Morgan. And he slowly built this car over years, got it running, said British roads are not where this car belongs. It's too hard on British roads. So it came to America, and here we are. We've got 1930 Morgan, Super Aero Sport, 2-speeder, so no reverse. So Morgans came in various stages. They could have air-cooled engines, they could have 4 seats. So when you drive this car, you've got gas, you've got air, so choke, so you're controlling your air here. Then controlling your ignition timing here. And here you've got the oil dripping, and you watch how many drips there are to make sure the oil's getting the engine to the oil pump on the front of the engine, which chucks it through the crank. And then because this is a highly environmental car, it chucks it out on the road surface. The other thing that's cool about these engines is they're water cooled with no water pump. So the heat of the water rises, comes through here, it hits the radiator, the air cools it, it drops, and that's what creates the circulation.
I'm here with Jim, and behind us we have a couple of buses from way back in the day that they used in the Yellowstone National Park.
1938 white corporation purposefully built tour buses. They used those up until the early 40s or late 50s. At that point, they were donated to Cheyenne Frontier Days, and Cheyenne Frontier Days has owned and operated them and maintained them ever since.
Really?
They're 38 models. The white 706 purpose-built tour bus.
Wow, and you know, I was looking at them, and you got doors on one side, the passenger side only.
Yes, sir.
And then I was looking at the doors when you guys were opening them, and it's a wood construction frame, metal overlay, like you said they would do back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Not uncommon.
Not uncommon.
Rack top on top.
Each row of seats has its own doors. The only door that's on the driver's side is for the driver, and that's it. And these buses, another cool thing about these are sequentially serial numbered. So these were made one right after the other in the white factory.
And how many were made?
Around 500 is what I saw.
And they were sent out through the world as tour buses as well?
Through the United States, through all the
United States.
national parks, yes, sir.
Wow, what did you say the last one went for at the auction?
The last one I saw that went through at an auction, they got about 1.3 million or so.
That's incredible.
It is.
What a treat.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Jim, for bringing it out. Let
You
us
bet.
check it out.
Thank you.
I'm here with Jazz Barbet, and we are at the beautiful Warren Nagel Mansion in Cheyenne, Wyoming. What an absolute pleasure staying here. My first experience in the bread and breakfast.
Well, we're a very old, historic from 1888 mansion. This is the last of the Wyoming Cheyenne mansions. More mansions here than actually in New York. And this is the last one. Well, Wyoming was the Union Pacific stop starting in 1865, and when they put the Union Pacific through, and that brought an industry along with the Bank of Scotland and the Scots of cattle. And this lasted until approximately 1888, the winter of 1888, when they had a huge blizzard and basically wiped out the cattle industry out here.
Now you've taken this place and you completely restored it, and you've opened it up recently to the public.
We have spent the last year restoring it about $500,000. And it is now open to the public. We have set this as it would have been in 1890, and this is so that the people in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and our visitors can see exactly what it would have been like.
Charity is a part of the spirit of Cheyenne. The Cars, Cigars, and Guitar Show chooses charities each year to support, and all proceeds raised from the show and the sponsors go directly to the deserving group. The Old West still lives on in Cheyenne, Wyoming, home of the Frontier Days, the largest outdoor rodeo in the world. Railroad museums that nod to Cheyenne's beginnings from the Union Pacific Railroad. There's buffalo, big boots, and historic mansions. This historic, family-friendly city is a must-visit destination. For me, that's a wrap.